Dakota Johnson admits, "When I accepted Jamie Dornan, I had to trade a lot of things." On a September afternoon, the sun was shining brightly on the glass roof of the Carlton Hotel, where Dakota Johnson was sitting for an exclusive interview with the Cut magazine for its winter issue. She sat across from veteran journalist Lena Forte, wearing a crimson dress, her hair pulled back loosely at the nape of her neck, her gaze both gentle and alert. Lena had just asked her first question, "Dakota, why did it take you so long, after all these years, to talk about Jamie Dornan?" Dakota took a deep breath. Her bright gray eyes glanced out the window for a few seconds, then back at the man across from her. "Because I'm old enough to accept the truth. And strong enough to take responsibility for my choices. One name, two lives." From the moment Dakota Johnson was cast as Anastasia Steele in 2013, her name was linked to Jamie Dornan as if by fate. Neither of them, one from a star family, daughter of Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, the other an Irish actor struggling to find her place, knew their lives were about to be changed by a film. Dakota once admitted, "I read the script and knew this role was going to change my life. But I didn't think it was going to change everything, including everything I believed in, loved, and held dear." She didn't mention Jamie's name at the time, but everyone understood that the trade-offs began when she opened up to her co-star, a married man with 3 children, and a gaze that she couldn't look away from. First trade-off, honor. From the very first film, Dakota was put under the spotlight not only for her daring role, but also for her strange chemistry with Jamie. Magazines, social media, fans, everyone asked, "Are they real?" Dakota denied it. So did Jamie, but that denial made people believe even more that they were hiding something bigger than a movie. "I'm not used to being called the third wheel," Dakota shared. "I never wanted to destroy anyone's family. But no matter what I did, they still looked at me as a sinner. They didn't care if I was telling the truth or not, they just wanted an excuse to hate me." And she kept quiet, because if she spoke up, she had to make it clear that she and Jamie were more than just co-stars. And if she spoke out, she knew it would hurt another woman, Amelia Warner. The second trade-off, friendship. As Jamie and Dakota grew closer, some in the industry withdrew from Dakota's orbit. That included co-stars who had been close to her, some who thought she was crossing the line by being intimate with a married man. One actress shared in an anonymous backstage chat, she thought she could do it just because she was Dakota Johnson. But the truth is, none of us would do it. Dakota didn't fight back. But the loss was still the loss. "I don't have a lot of close friends in the industry," she admitted, "and being with Jamie made me feel more alone than I ever have." The moment of no return. Dakota remembers a fall evening in Vancouver where the 50 Shades Freed crew was filming their final scene. Jamie stood there, watching her, after a long take, as the crew left the set. He didn't say anything. She didn't either. Just a look. A long time. "I knew if I took one more step toward him, things would never be the same." And she did. When the final 50 Shades film came to an end, Dakota thought she was finally stepping out of Anastasia Steele's shadow and establishing herself as a serious actress. But every interview, every offer to work on something, carried a hidden message. "Did you sleep with Jamie Dornan?" Number one asked directly. But the looks, the pauses, and the coldness from feminist directors all suggested one thing: Dakota Johnson was no longer considered a safe choice. "I was turned down for at least 5 big projects," Dakota said in an interview with The Cut. "They didn't say why, but I knew. They were afraid my image would dilute the message. They didn't want a homewrecker in a movie about women's liberation." She smiled, a bitter smile. "I fought my way out of the shadow of a naked role, only to step into the shadow of an unauthorized relationship. The letters were not from Jamie, but from Amelia. A year after the final film was released, Dakota received a handwritten letter, unsigned, but she knew right away it was from Amelia Warner. In the letter, Amelia neither threatened nor cried. The letter contained just 3 paragraphs. I don't hate you. I don't think you're a bad person, but I want you to know that there are things that don't have to happen to be called love. Dakota read the letter in her car, after a long photo shoot. She sat there for hours. No tears, no anger. Only one sentence came to mind: I went too far. The biggest trade-off, her own faith. After Jamie decided to move back in with his family, as many predicted, Dakota didn't blame him. But she began to wonder, what did I give? And what did I get in return? She once turned down the lead role in a Greta Gerwig film because Jamie didn't like the script. She avoided her best friend because he said, "Don't you think this is wrong?" She convinced herself, love is love. No one has the right to judge. But now, looking back, she's not sure she believes that anymore. I'm not that 25-year-old girl who loves no matter the consequences, Dakota says. I am a woman who has walked through the moral gray area. And I understand more than ever the price of silence, of choices that go against intuition. Meeting after the storm. 3 years after the series ended, Dakota and Jamie reunite at a charity event in Paris. Neither of them knew they would be there together. They bumped into each other as they were walking out of the VIP area. Jamie's eyes were still the same, dark and sad. Dakota nodded, about to walk past. But Jamie called out softly, "Dakota." She stopped. "Are you okay?" he asked. Dakota smiled. "Fine. And you?" Jamie nodded. "Your family is fine. My oldest daughter has started playing the piano." Dakota nodded. She was about to leave. But then she turned around and said, "Thank you for teaching me the greatest lesson of my life, that loving someone doesn't mean holding on to them at all costs." Jamie said nothing, but his eyes, as always, said more than enough. The end is not a loss. Dakota Johnson now lives in a small house in the mountains near Big Sur. She spends her time doing yoga, writing scripts, and independent acting roles that are not influenced by brands or scandals. She is writing her first book, a half-fiction, half-truth memoir, called The Things I've Been Silent About. Loving someone at the wrong time doesn't make it any less beautiful. It just makes you grow up faster, Dakota wrote in the final chapter of the manuscript. In another chapter, she refers to Jamie Dornan by the initials, J. J. Was the first man to make me question my own moral limits. And the last man I allowed to hurt me like that.